Hey everyone, Temporal here, and for this session we are reviewing, a Plat soldier. I see the ash on your screen too, don't worry. I believe this will very quickly become a soldier, mostly because I checked, but that's okay. So, a little bit of ash, mostly a soldier review. Let's see how our player is doing here.
Statistically speaking, I usually get most of my team back alive, but who's counting?
Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Stop the payload.
Opening shot, sure. So, let's get our timing here.
1. Attackers incoming. Stop the payload.
Interesting time to be moving. I think you just don't really respect how far their visibility is from the spawn doors. I think you were holding the angle, they weren't there immediately, so you moved feeling like it was time to get a new one, but that's not really what's going on. This isn't Adam, he isn't spamming voice lines. It is though. Okay. Reopen, you open that carefully, I like it. Best ashless voice line to spam is, do you need me to repeat myself? Yeah, so that's probably not what I'd go with. I get where you're going here. This I like. I'm totally fine with trying to make this leave, but like, you're doing this because you missed your last two shots, and the answer, unfortunately, is to take another shot. Because I don't want to use my TNT on this Junkrat when I'm going to be able to force so much more pressure on the enemy team with a TNT around cart as opposed to on Junkrat. This is a one-person TNT, and you're throwing it because you didn't hit your shots. This would be the equivalent of going, oh, I missed my heal shots on the Genji on Ana, so let me just go ahead and throw my nade to heal him. No, because it's easier to hit with. No, you can't do that here because look, unsurprisingly, you throw TNT in here, you potentially force bubbles, you potentially force amp. Like, yeah, that's gonna be better. Maybe you get Ana's nade out. Like, that's gonna be a lot better than what you're gonna get here in terms of let me TNT Junkrat because I missed a couple shots. Okay. Oh, I'm just slow on my uploads, Val. I have a couple other reviews that I just haven't uploaded yet that I've been doing, Discord stream, on-call reviews with people that I just haven't uploaded. So that's why you're seeing two Adams in a row. Okay. So here we are. You angle over here, but this was always going to be hard to maintain. I like it. Like, I like conceptually the, hey, let's take an angle, let's be powerful against this, but we do have to realize what's still back there, because we got an elimination on this team, and that's just a game sense thing to recognize. We did get an elimination on their, on the soldier. Soldier's going to come back. Wait, that's a problem. That's something that if we're here, we don't have cover. So I don't necessarily mind this. We obviously used our coach weapon to get over here, and now we're a little bit stuck here. I'm totally good with you being here. I like having this angle, but I'm not so good with you being here without your coach weapon, unfortunately, which is a little dicey because you can't really transition from here to here once they're already here like this. You could have played this angle kind of from the get-go and made it harder for them to push in if you wanted. I know your cover becomes a little weak, but transitioning here kind of leaves you vulnerable. And by kind of it does. Now, if you trade out for their Ana, it's fine. Okay. She's just not there, so you take the shot at the Lucio. Okay. Yeah, you're doomed. Yeah, so there was definitely the shot at the Lucio rather than staying on the Ana, who, you TNT'd, but wasn't particularly weak other than that. And coach weaponing yourself over there really wasn't wasn't the play, unfortunately. You were better off going, hey, I was poking from here, let me just step back here, drop, and now I'm going to play from here type thing, and I still have my coach weapon. If someone tries to dive me, I can coach weapon myself up to here, or I can, retreat back this way. Coach weapon, exactly.
They are getting on my nerves.
We're all soldiers now.
Okay. Okay, so now we're on the soldier. And you're putting some damage pressure. I can live with it. Obviously, it's a little bit lopsided. This poke battle from here, you've got no cover. That said, Junkrat isn't going to do a great job of hitting you here, and it's Lucio, and Lucio's at this SR can't really aim. They have a Rhine shield. I can live with it.
Anyone need some healing?
Okay. Sure. Swap to the Lucio.
The payload has
A little too much attachment to that Rhine shield, but we do properly approach or readjust for high ground. What?
Let the dragon consume.
Let's see those angles. If Blah was here, Blah would point out that the solution to that is for me to set up that Patreon and have the channel supported in a different way so I wouldn't have to worry about demonetization. But I'll just do that plug for Blah reminding me to do Patreon since he's not here. So here you are. Sure, you change off, like you stop shooting at the bubbled Zarya to shoot at the bubbled shielded Reinhardt. I'm not sure I can agree with that one. Really not sure I can agree with that one. Definitely back on the Zarya now, right? Right? We're definitely going to flick right back to the Zarya over there, who now doesn't have a bubble. That's what we're going to do. We're not just going to shoot at the Rhine shield. Please? This over here?
What he wants to
How about a little
Okay. Okay, so here you are. You see Lucio go through. You miss Lucio go through. You see Soldier go through. You need to run. You need to run right now. You then go for the reload. Okay, so you just don't recognize what's happening? Yep. Good effort, but not gonna happen. Okay, so that's just you not having quite enough foresight of what that was evolving into. Not a big deal.
The war goes on.
Fire in the hole!
Get in here. Rotate, bro.
You don't value your life too strongly after everyone gets eliminated? I mean, that's so much lost time and pressure, though. Like, if you had... From here, I get you'd be giving up some pressure to leave now that Soldier and Lucio are gone, to leave rather than reload, by the way. You do leave. To go, hey, I'm going to sprint and leave and go out like this. But I'd still much rather have this. This is like, hey, now I have something protecting me. Now I have my team's respawns can get me. I'd much rather have this and be able to enforce this than completely give up high ground. If you have control of this, pushing back in isn't too hard. If you have nothing and the opponents get control of this, you've lost the point. Yeah. Figure you'll get the pick or get eliminated. Don't put yourself in situations where you have... Well, sometimes you have to put yourself in situations where you have to do that, but you want to put yourself in situations where you have to do that when you're behind in a fight, but it's not lost. This fight is lost. Like, Those are the situations where you put yourself in. I'm going to walk behind the enemy team, and I'll trade 2 for 1, 3 for 1, or I'll just get eliminated, but it's already a 6v5 that we're losing. Like, that's when you go for the, well, you know, it's do or get eliminated type situation. Sometimes in even fights, but not in...
The war goes
In that
on.
fight, like,
Fire in the hole!
just go leave. You're a soldier. You're a sprint.
Reach ref.
Cover? What a weird place for soldier to stand. Could be standing right here. Could be standing right here. Could be standing right here. What a weird place for soldier to stand. Could be working his way up here. Prioritize staying alive more. You notice even on Ana, I have a let me do this, then get eliminated brain. I did. Okay, you really shouldn't be here, and I don't want you reloading in the open either. You can cancel this reload to sprint to get to cover. Okay. Sure. Putting some pressure on Towel. Just leave. That's a fire strike. Good. Sprint. He's too close already. You sprint. Yep. Full health soldier. Drops healing station. Right here. If you move that over just a little bit, it reaches out like this, and you can be standing here-ish, here-ish, and shoot at the enemy team, shoot at the Reinhardt through there, or tuck back here for cover and get healed by it. Like, just move it a little bit. You're full health. There's no reason for this healing station to go down. You expected them to push, probably because you expected that Reinhardt got that beat, but no.
Anyone need some healing?
High ground? That's not the one. Okay. I don't know quite what your exit plan was here. I don't really think you'd plan the kite path. Was this I'm going to go this way to get back in the fight? Like I'm going to go here to surprise them, or here to surprise them and get picks? I can live with that. But then you're reloading out here rather than behind the cover, and if this was your plan, you'd be using your reload time as travel time, so that doesn't make sense. And now you're behind by enough to leave, but it seems you'd already made the decision to leave. This was not a very good kite path. Okay, so that was your plan, and then you realized we were done. Fine.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
But you can still make this hard to push. So see, we talked about this yesterday in your review where you were playing Cassidy, where your Ana sort of retreated, your BAP went over here, and you were over here, but then you gave up being over here to go join your Ana and get caught in the grab. Your team and this team was always going to want to push this way. Like sort of like this. They're trying to do this, whatever you want to call that. And you've now retreated along the same real path as your team. And what we want to have happen, I don't want you here. This is too scary. You're going to get 6v1'd. I don't really like that. But I do want you to think about, can I be over here? Can I be over here? Because it's hard for them to go push you. It's not that dangerous for you to sprint across if you have to. Obviously, you can't just do it against great players when they're not distracted by something else. But if you put yourself over here in this retreat pattern, it's actually harder for these guys to push up and take space on this map, which is something that you would very much like. You don't want the next team fight to happen here around cart. You would like the cart to be like here before the next team fight. And one of the ways that you do that is you don't let these guys get a bunch of free space. You're down. You lost your Reinhardt, you lost someone else, but you have enough to make this very hard to push into, to make them have to push into resistance. So you, over like here-ish, putting pressure in this direction so that you can go out like that, can go out like that as they try to push through. When you know that Hog is here, you know that Hanzo is here, will probably drift here, shoot from this direction. Hog will probably continue to shoot from here. Like, this would be very good if you would go over here instead of just walking it back like this. Yeah, see, the Junkrat spam hits you, the Reinhardt Fire Strike is in your direction, the Zarya right clicks are in your direction, all of this happens, and can you imagine how much harder this would have been for them if you'd been over here? It would have been like are you kidding me? You just melt this Reinhardt. They'd have to keep the shield up towards you, or walk towards you, or send Lucio to 1v1 you while trying to push like that. We do like that. We do like that quite a lot. And then you've got a Mega to help protect you. You do, while they're trying to figure out multiple directions, you very likely have the ability to sprint across if it's really too hot. Yeah. What? I know she's at super long range, but it's an Ana not paying attention to you that's scoped in. Your best chance to hit her with a Helix rocket is right now, and Helix is really not that long of a cooldown. So you either use Helix to finish people off, which can be okay. You can help control their movement with it. They're starting to move left. You Helix a little further to their left. That either hits them if they continue left, or if they're going right, well, you controlled their movement with your Helix, and your tracking right is very easy on them, and you finish them off. Okay, great. You Helix their legs. The other option, however, is when someone's not paying attention to you, you open with Helix. Helix is your pick-off opportunity move. You don't have a Hanzo headshot, a Widow headshot, but it is how you get picks on Soldier. You Helix at people that aren't looking at you, and then your Helix hits them, and your first bullets hit them at basically the same time. So you can line up Helix plus headshots basically for free right now, whereas if you shoot headshots, your Helix then has travel time, and they potentially dodge the Helix. So, like, Helix the scoped Ana that isn't paying attention to you, and let's try and get this pick. No. No, no. See? That's wrong order. Okay, this is good, though. I like that you're over here. You have to recognize that your retreat is this way, but I like that you're over here. Okay. It's fine. His boop doesn't actually scare you. Good. Re-deepen your angle. You're fine. You still have healing station if you need it.
I've got you in my sights.
I probably would have deepened this angle further. It's just the cover is just too easy for them in terms of this is here, this is here, this is here, this is here. There's too much cover, and no one's like standing in the middle. They're correctly over here, this sort of thing. It's going to force them forward into your Reinhardt, which is good, and force this Lucio out, so it's not surprising supporting them, which is good. But I would have liked to go, hey, this is cool and all, but what if I take this one step further and go over here? And these guys are in worse shape, and I can still threaten, decide if I want to. This isn't a bad visor. This isn't a bad visor, and I do like that you're over here. I'd have just liked to turn it up from like a 6.5 to an 8. Okay.
Target rich.
Double kill.
Good.
Resistance neutralized.
Okay. Sure.
Get out of my way or I'll run you over.
Okay. That was a little bit interesting. I don't hate it or anything. No one's going to jump on top of you and require your Helix, but that wasn't really finished territory. It wasn't really opening on someone not paying attention. It was just sort of spam. I can live with spam. Okay. I suppose I said no one was going to jump on top of you. What I meant was no one dangerous was going to jump on top of you. You'll be okay against this Lucio unless you let him boop you down. Again, you didn't immediately need this healing station, and I really would have liked this healing station to just be a couple steps further. If you put this healing station like here instead, then it reaches more like here-ish, and you can be standing here where no one can hit you, or you can be standing here where you can shoot out that direction, or here where you can shoot out that direction, and still be getting healed by it. You have the option to get healed by it behind cover, and the option to get healed by it while you're fighting. Now the only way you get healed by it while you're fighting is if you step over here, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but I would like to be able to shoot them back here if they're through, or shoot them through here if they're not. Right.
This old dog's learned a few tricks.
Okay. You have to adjust. You have to adjust. You can't play from here. You have to reclaim this. Like, this point, I don't remember. I don't think I've done a map guide on this point yet, on this map yet. But this point, this feels like a very hard choke sometimes. Like, oh my goodness, this is a hard choke. How are we ever going to get the cart through here? You take 3 minutes off the clock, 4 minutes off the clock, whatever. The actual answer to who controls this choke is purely about lane 1, lane 2, lane 3. This is what this is about. If you get control of a second or even a third lane, you can hold this forever if you're defense, or you can push this through without too much trouble if you're offense. Third lane, second lane. You can threaten them from here very easily, especially a soldier peel out over here. I do not want a chance. I don't even want there to be a chance that no one is going to cover this lane. I want you to leave right now to cover that. It's way more important than what you're doing. Look at your screen. Oh, look, there's a bubbled Zarya on your screen. Let's leave. Good. Helix. Again, start with the Helix. I don't want you to fire 3 shots then, Helix. I want you to start with the Helix. You're giving them extra reaction time on a projectile. No dice. Okay. Did exactly what we needed to there. And you still fight for this. Okay, you still fight for this, so like the retreat is good. I like this a lot. Boom. But now we go, hey, what can we do here? Oh, the Zarya beam's still on us? Okay, you're gonna keep running, fine. But if that's the case, you're not stopping here. If you were still scared of them, you're not stopping here with no cover options. You'd have sprinted yourself over to here, where you'd have been like, hey, I have a cover option. This sort of thing. Like, over to here, where you have a cover option. But this is not right? Like, why are you in the open? That's not really how I wanted to use my Helix either. And this is one of those advantages of using Helix to finish people off. If you use Helix to finish people off, it bursts through the potential for healing. You don't want to give supports more time to react, or him in this case, since he has a healing station, more time to react. Because we've talked about this before when we've done reviews of supports, which we've done a lot of, where you sort of look at people and go, hey, you're at 60%, you're less important to heal than someone that's at 20%. I might let you run at 60 or 70% for a while. If it was Mercy, for example, Mercy might choose to damage boost you while you were at 70% rather than heal you like she immediately would do if you were at 20%. Well, if you get someone down to 40% before you helix them, you potentially burst through the option to swap over to that healing. You burst through the Ana that's now prioritized that. Whereas if you helix them at 70, even if you hit them, it doesn't finish them off, and they're able to answer with a nade, with heals plus cover, with healing station, etc. Your instincts would tell you rotate Mega and then pew-pew them to eliminate them from behind. Rotate Mega. Oh, to have gone under here. Like this? Is that what you're saying? And gone like that? Oh, or to have gone over here. This Mega. I mean, this is a little tough to continue to hold. If you're winning the fight, you can deepen your angle from here to here. But I wouldn't just make this your default at this point in the map with where your allies are holding for where you hold. It's a little too easy for them to fight just you. Though, Celeste, coming from a Bastion standpoint, that's a little different because you can hide. As Bastion, you can constantly hide and look for 2-to-1, 3-to-1 trades. Not constantly, but you can frequently do it. And if you're thinking from a Bastion perspective, yeah, if you hid and didn't let them know that you were there, you could potentially, after they started to push, transform and take them out. Yeah, it's Bastion stuff, exactly. Yeah, a little different than what our soldier needs to do. Okay. There you go.
Patched up.
Okay. You can drop the healing station right here. Okay. Great. Perfect. Made the target swap there. Little late to drop the healing station, so we go like this. Yeah, okay. Hit your reload, drop your healing station. You really probably wanted to drop your healing station, and you can sort of use it to cancel your reload animation, but it's very minor. I'd have probably said because you're so low health, interrupt your reload immediately for the healing station and then do the reload so that you're healing during the reload, but that's okay. Because you can't open this. You can't open this. No. Now you can open it. And this is fine, even though you didn't get the junk elimination. It's fine. Lucio's correctly answering you. Cool. And now you're going to circle behind them, advisor. Okay. Sure. You're doomed. Nice tracking. You should be doomed. You have no rocket, you're down 50 health, but you got the opening headshot on him, and he did nothing after helixing you. Interesting. Okay. So yeah, I'd have liked you to circle behind, but ultimately this Lucio is pretty hard to loot you at this point. Not a big deal.
I've got you in my sights.
This is good. It's not totally going to work. It is now going to work. It's not totally going to work because the Rhine's got a lot of shield left, and it's not too hard for him to get both of these angles. As you can see, the angle differential between you guys is basically like this. We'd like a little bit better than that in terms of it, but hey, we'll take it. This is fine as doing its job.
I love the smell of pulse munitions in the morning.
Deepen it. Deepen it. You should win this fight. You should finish off this fight, but right now you might not. You are, by just pouring damage into the front of them, potentially giving up staggers right here. You have sprint. You're the most mobile person on your team. You need to sprint yourself over here and find value. You need to sprint yourself over here and just get 2 quick picks. That sort of, well, not really picks anymore, but 2 quick eliminations, clean up eliminations. This is the sort of thing where I know it seems silly because I'm like, okay, when you fall behind in a fight, if it turns from a 6v6 into a 6v5, you on the side that's 5 need to recognize that, okay, gotta deepen my angle, gotta make a play, gotta go do that. Well, also, if you're winning a fight and it becomes a 6v5, you want to make sure you get those eliminations. You don't want to just walk forward on them because they're still somewhat strong enough to repel you. You want to go, I can now afford to leave this fight for a moment and my team isn't going to get rolled. And now let me go establish an angle and do this. Yes, basically all roads lead to this. It's true. But you see how that's going to work right now. Like, you doing damage right now isn't going to get 4 of these people eliminated. I mean, it might, but it probably won't. You going up here and going, hey, I'm going to hit this, that's going to get you at least 2 or 3 staggers. Isn't he too far from everything? Right now, yes.
Get in here.
Okay, so we got 1. Are we going to get 2? Oh, almost. So we almost had 2 there. But the way I did it would have certainly staggered them harder and would have been more. Like, yeah. Okay. So this is good, but this isn't like a absolutely tear them apart one anymore. You'd have absolutely torn them apart when they were under pressure up there. They had to hold their shield in this direction. Now they're going to be a little bit more stable. But, okay. It's still good and right. But open with your helix. Helix! Oh. What? Cool. Dodge this. You run out of ammo. It left. The step is left. Like, there's no question that the step is left. You step right. Okay. Actually did actively dodge him pretty effectively there. I wanted cover, but your dodge movement was actually pretty good. We don't talk about that a ton, but I'll do it now because we don't talk about it a ton for people. So as we look at this... Cool, this happens. I'm going to slow this down. And here he is, and this is happening. And we see the reload, and obviously there's an expectation that Adam here is going to step, Prexa here is going to step from our screen to the right because, hey, he's reloading, he's going to want cover. Now, we can't one-shot him from here, so a predictable little bit of damage, even if it's a headshot, isn't going to be the end of the world, especially while he's in a healing station. But there is something to be said for he starts dragging his crosshair right, and Adam goes left, which that's what you want to do when you're actively dodging. You recognize where someone's going to want to move their crosshair, you recognize where someone is moving their crosshair, and you counter step to it. And you don't get to keep counter stepping to it because they'll adjust, and now we see this person is correcting, and now that they're correcting and they've almost got here, Adam steps into it a little early, but he then steps through it, and now we're again moving away from it type thing. Oh, and again, as it gets there, moving away from it. This is not just AD strafing, or if it is, Adam is getting lucky. This is hopefully a more active version of dodging that doesn't get gone into all that often. I go into it quite a bit when we talk about Tracer matchups, but I mostly talk about when their crosshair gets close, you blink. That same skill that Tracer learns of when their crosshairs get close, you blink, everyone can learn to some degree of you can see how a person is adjusting their crosshair by where you can see where a person is aiming. Like I can see Adam is aiming a little to the left right now. You can see these things, and as they're adjusting their crosshair, you want to hit that counterbalance to mess them up. Prekaza. Okay. Prekaza. Oh. Prekaza, not Prekaza. Okay, Prekaza. Okay. There we go. So, good active dodging, even if I'd have said take cover instead.
The fight ain't over yet. The fight ain't over yet.
She doesn't know you're here. She does it. She's retreating. She'd be so easy to hit a helix on. That said, your helix literally had just come up. So. Were you out of ammo?
I'll run you over.
Yeah, you were. Leave. Okay, now you have a bubble, sure. The reason I want you to leave is I just want you to back for a moment to go through here, for example, because I don't want you tip of the spearing your way through here until you have the bubble anyway. Going to get demonetized for saying his name? Oh. Oh well. Isn't it weird how each soldier's battlefield can't heal the other soldier? Little bit. Okay. So, here you are. You're on a fresh angle. What do you think I want you to do? Oh, I want you to fish for a pick with Helix. Like, damage suppression is good. The damage suppression that Soldier puts on on the opposing team with his high damage, consistent damage, is very good. But if we want to do more than that, we have to get picks. And picks isn't the strongest part of Soldier's kit. Like, let's be honest, Ashe is better than that, though Ashe can be pretty good at pressure too. Cassidy is better than that. Hanzo is better than that. Those heroes all have a little bit more pick potential than Soldier. But Soldier still has to try to get his pick potential, and by leaning into that, it is his Helix rocket. Oh, you had this Junkrat. You had it. If you open with a Helix with reasonable accuracy, you had this Junkrat right here. It's weird that May's robot gets angry at her after being deflected. Sure. Yeah, I think it's unlikely that the algorithm is going to be upset about that one. Getting eliminations isn't as fun as suppressing people. I mean, I disagree. You suppress the entire team and you open up a ton of space for you to get more eliminations when you get an elimination. But hey. I mean, again, they can't help but pay a little more attention to you. This is a fresh angle for you, but it's an angle that's so similar to your team that they can see you. But they really only have one option right now, and it's to retreat in this direction. So, like, use Helix ahead of them before this becomes an issue. You Helix ahead of them, and they either walk into the Helix or they stay where they are. And if they stay where they are, you and Hanzo get to keep shooting at them. Like, I do want this Helix used before it isn't useful. Congratulations, your Helix now isn't useful. Yeah. Okay, this is fine. You reopened that. You reopened that and took half your health and damage before your reload was done. More than half your health and damage. Now you can fire your weapon again. That was a foolish reopen. Like, you closed the angle to reload and immediately went, oh, but I'm bored. What's going on over here? Let me reload. Oh, but I'm bored. Let me see what's going on over here. No, no. You're not going for a pick. I'm just kind of in angle control mode. They're too far for reasonable damage. Right, but your Helix is a very short cooldown. Like, I get it that you're not like, oh, I have to get a pick, but you want to, like, it's not costing you anything to go for that pick. Again, your Helix is on a reasonably short cooldown. You're doing sort of what's necessary, like you're doing your job, you're doing what's necessary, but if you want to be, like, to move up in Overwatch consistently, obviously, in practice, you should only have to be better than 6 players in the lobby to move up in Overwatch. In practice, if you want to consistently move up, you probably want to be better than about 10 players in the lobby to be like, nope, consistently moving up, consistently winning games, putting together those nice 60, 70 win percent games. And you have the ability to do that. You're mechanically good enough. If you can actively dodge people, which I'm not sure you can do consistently, but if you can actively dodge people the way that you did there, and you have the aim that we've seen in some of these, you mechanically have the ability to be hanging out in, a much higher level of diamond, and here you are in a plat game here. So, like, okay, I would like you to win 60, 70% of your games here. And I understand why that's not happening. You're using different heroes. You're using Cassidy, you're using Soldier, and that's fine, but you have to understand how these heroes work. And what Soldier does is, yes, he does control his angles, and you're doing a better job of that on Soldier than you were yesterday on Cassidy. And hey, that's good, but you also need to go, okay, now how do I get the most value I reasonably can here? And, well, okay, you go, let me turn his kit into a pick machine. Your Ash is on a 65% win rate, coach. I get the sniper heroes. I believe it. No, I absolutely believe it. So, like, let's try to get these mid-range hit scans a little bit more there. Okay, so here you are. Sure, you have healing station. I just drop healing station. Like, I just drop healing station, wait for it to heal a little, and reopen the angle. You can go for a fresh angle, which is what you're trying to do. This is your second best option, to go for this fresh angle up top, but you unfortunately run into the Junkrat, and you haven't healed yet, and I understand why you haven't healed yet. You wanted to be able to set your healing station at your new spot, but this isn't actually the move here. I'm okay with dropping the healing station, but the reality is you showed up at close range against a Junkrat. You have to just go Helix Rocket and then headshots. Like, that is playing towards your outs. You're right now counting on him just missing shots for long enough to get healed enough that you have enough health to survive through a mine, a nade. Not really. Not really. This really just needed to be Helix Rocket into headshots. Yeah. Okay. You have plenty of health. I don't think you realized what you had going on in terms of health there, but that's okay. You were getting the Lucio healing. Okay, we're shooting at that, right? Right? Yeah, I would not have spent time going for that mega.
Much better.
I would have happily right now been like, oh, I desperately need to apply damage to this.
I've got you in my sights.
Kinda too late. Yeah. Sprint. You were totally fine sprinting.
I've got you in my
It
sights.
might feel counterintuitive to sprint right now because, oh, I'm burning tack visor time if I sprint, but you absolutely sprint right now. They know that you can end your sprint at basically any time and start shooting them in the back again, so they're still going to, A, continue to try to walk towards you, and B, put their shield up, which is going to let Zarya do damage, but you running further away makes a bigger angle for Zarya and potentially gets you further away so you can go back to shooting. This is bad, you just pressed me. This is bad. And you can't walk in and melee him with the Junkrat there. That sucks. Yeah.
Fall back.
60
I don't
seconds
quit till the
remaining.
fight's done.
Okay. It was a tactical retreat via Junkrat mine to the spawn room. Great. Cool, I like it. Helix rocket into the crate, right? That's what's going to happen here? Helix rocket into the crate? That's not a Helix rocket. Cool. Okay, leave. Leave. Leave! That was so greedy and you knew exactly what was coming. Like, you knew you didn't have cooldowns, you knew you were going to be in his effective range, you saw that the beat had gone off and you weren't going to get Ana anymore. No.
The
No.
war goes on.
No, you Helix rocket into the crate. I'm doing my suppressive poke. Ah.
Dragon consume you!
Double
Okay, yep. Yep. Good. Yep.
Let's break it. Damn!
round one.
Okay.
Complete.
Works out. Works out. You guys got the hope.
Score.
So, there's definitely some...
Switching sides.
How would I put this? You need to line up more pick opportunities with Soldier, and that's literally just going to be, rather than helixing after you fired 3 bullets, helix and then fire your 3 bullets when you're on a fresh angle, when a target isn't aware you're there, when a target is looking at your team, not you. Like, that's the secret. That is the secret to more picks on Soldier. And if you get more picks on Soldier, if you get like 3 more picks a match, that's probably going to win you 1.5 more team fights a match. And by pick, I mean sort of opening pick while it's still a 6v6 type thing. That sort of thing. That's probably going to win you an extra 1 to 1.5 team fights, and that adds up to match wins. But okay, let's continue here. And you could do more than that. You obviously had more pick opportunities than that. You won't get every pick opportunity with your Helix, but you've had more than that just on the defense.
I live for a good fight.
And the second thing that's really jumping out on us is you get a bit greedy.
We all have
You
our
get a bit
jobs to
greedy in how long you stay at your spaces. Third thing that would be jumping out at us would be healing station placements. Yeah.
No.
Where we would like our healing stations to
5.
not just be able to heal us where we are, not just be able to heal us while we have cover, but also heal us while we're fighting. And you've been light on the ones that can do that. You've done some damage to the building. Okay. That's through there, sure. And this is a case where, again, I look at this and go, hey, at this point, you're pretty aware of what the enemy team is. No one's likely to just jump on top of you. I'm pretty good with just sending a Helix rocket through here. Just for the damage, just for the pressure. That suppressive poke that you're considering your job, your Helix rocket is part of that right now. Again, it's a short cooldown. You understand conceptually, just didn't realize you had the habit. Yep, and that's what having a coach, a different pair of eyes here is for. It can can be hard for players to see some of their own mistakes. Okay. Yep, right idea. It's a shame. That was just mean.
We all got it coming.
That's gonna be a sleep dart. I mean, her name is Sleepy. Her name is Sleepy. You know that she led you around this corner so that she could line up the free sleep dart. Like, you should already be dodging right. You should already be dodging right. Like, if there was anything involved here, it was going to be a fake peek, and you were watching like a hawk for her right arm to move at all, because if it did, it was step back to the right. Like, this is bait the same way Anna's bait like this. Reinhardt's bait like this. They step around a corner. You'll see Reinhardt's fall behind the corner and then hit the charge to catch someone that goes like that. That sort of thing. Anna's do the same thing with their sleep. Okay, I'll deal. Feel. I'll aim no brain, sir. Okay. But you knew that one was coming. You've played Anna. I'm sure you've probably done that maneuver.
Let the dragon consume you.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Good healing station. Sure, good target swap. It's fine. You forced lamp, you forced bubble. Can't decide what you want. Yeah, a little slow to hear the Junkrat, but that's okay. You don't really want to push him, but you also know he's not going to get healing there. Yeah, there you go.
You ain't seen me angry.
Okay. High ground. You know this. Good.
My ultimate is charging.
Autocannon, spamming a choke with a 20 per sec. Spamming choke with 20 shot per second with explosive ordnance. If something goes wrong, Bastion is easiest to blame. Okay. That's a Helix rocket. It's a Helix rocket. Okay, well, we did connect with it. And we did then get the elimination.
Necessity.
You drop here, sure. You feel comfortable that you've cleared everything behind that window, but I didn't, and that's kind of what happens. Like, you went like that,
Tactical
and you
necessity.
dropped here, so if there's something here, you can't really back out. You just dropped, you didn't round the corner. I guess you did have a sonic arrow going on at the time. But then you're walking like this is just scary. Putting your back through the opponent's window when their opponent's window is in the direction of their spawn, like, I don't like this. I don't like this. I'd have wanted to check. I'd have wanted to scout, but okay. Oh, you saw the feed? Okay.
The war goes on.
Honestly, this is one of those points that you put a little extra effort into living on, even if you see the feed, because it's so hard to get across this bridge. And because it's so hard to get across this bridge, you sort of hit a situation where it's better for you to kite and run and delay yourself getting eliminated, because that sort of buys time for your team to rotate across the bridge again. And even if you get eliminated again, it's sort of like, it's kind of worth to have gotten them across the bridge reasonably, even if they then have to 5v6. So, like, that's going to be a little controversial, but this is one of those points. Gibraltar second is another one of those points where sort of continuing the fight to let your teammates get in to try to trade out for things can be worth, but that's okay.
I'm escorting the payload. Let's keep it moving.
Okay. Sure. for me. Great. Step away from... Yeah, there you go. You want to step away for just a second, because you two can shred that tire, but... There we go. Go left, go left, go left, go left!
My ultimate is almost ready.
All that stuff to get at. If the Reinhardt charges over here, you just run back to your team. If he charges over there, you get to shoot him in the side. If he tries to shield against you, BAP shoots him. I know. Deep in your egg. Deep in your egg.
My ultimate is ready.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Good. Use the dragon to try to rotate. Unfortunately, you immediately see people, so you do this, which is fine.
Double
And stay down.
Great. Again, we want to open with the helix there.
Graviton surge is ready.
Beautiful.
By the dragon.
Yep. Now you leave.
It gets better with age.
No, not this hard. You don't need to leave this hard. So you go to here.
It gets better with age.
You got healed to full. You can control here. Your team is already right there. Like, we're good. We lost Hanzo, so what? This is still a 5v6 at worst. And it's actually better than that, and you have a different angle than your team. If they try to push you, you do have sprint to leave. You have a mega. Lucio's chilling here with you. Your team will be able to shoot them in the side or the back if they try and push you. You'll be able to shoot them in the side or back if they try to push your team. You're chilling. What are we doing? What are we doing? They did not push you hard enough to earn you going back to your team. You just sort of surrendered the health pack to Kree there. Casting. Okay. Again, we'd have wanted to open with the helix on the BAP, but okay.
I've got you in my sights.
And this was easier for them to adjust to because it was a smaller angle. It was still good. I'm glad that you had the angle. I do appreciate that. But, like, they did not need to be able to take this from you as easily as they did. Any new map guides soon? Yeah, probably.
Mission ain't over yet.
Maybe I'll do this one.
Someone get that payload moving again.
Let the dragon consume you.
So I ran scout through window to see if they were pushing. Let's look here. You're doing this. That's why you ran to this stand class. Yeah, I'm good with this. And then you're gonna hop over here, and this is good. Dragon comes out even better for you, and you just mow them down from here. Yeah, this is right. Yeah, just the 3. I haven't done a mini guide in quite a while. Yeah, no, you didn't mean to. You meant the rotation when you ran from Cassidy. Right. Yeah, no, I got what you were talking about, and I hear you, but like, I knew where your team was, and you should have known where your team was, and your team, even if the opponents were pushing mid, was going to be valid, useful, whatever we want to call it there. I'd rather it be a situation where you sprint back to here and then are with cover fighting a Cassidy that's trying to walk across, and when he gets too close, yes, you do leave because he has flash, but you do shoot him a bit on his way across. You'd created enough distance to earn that already, and if he did any poke damage to you on his way across, well, as you're leaving, you're going to leave through the mega, and you put chip damage into him, and it's meaningful. Like, even if his team is coming out here and then starts to look at you, they get shot in the back. If they're doing that, I would rather you fight Kree over here, maybe with Lucio's help, while Core fights Core, than you leave and Kree and core get to fight your core. That sort of thing. Yeah, sprint is pretty good. There's a reason we call them legs. There's going to be a helix. There's going to be a helix.
You have my thanks.
Okay.
That's you.
And stay down.
Sure.
Patched up.
Yeah, double back.
The payload is approaching
I don't
its
dislike this.
destination.
Obviously, he was sitting there waiting for you, but I don't dislike conceptually what you did there. You left and then retook it, but you'd given yourself a good 3-4 seconds before you'd done so, so it was likely to not be watched anymore because they couldn't afford to. And really, he couldn't afford to. You saw that they capped the point there. Okay, so my movement isn't really going to change from the first round in terms of, not my movement, my beliefs on what I want you to work on isn't really going to change. I want you to go for these helix picks. You don't have to change how you're positioning to get these. You don't have to change how you're thinking about the game. I mean, maybe you have to change how you're thinking about the game a little bit because you're in this like, oh, I just need to put pressure out mode. And you can't be in this, I need to put pressure out mode. And also, I don't value my life. Those don't quite work together. Helix just makes you better. You start turning some of this pressure into when a target isn't paying attention to me, when I'm on a fresh angle, I'm going to hit that Helix rocket as the opener because that vastly increases the odds that I can get a pick when they're not yet paying attention to me. Once they're paying attention to you, you can start using Helix as spam, or you can use Helix to finish people off depending on if they're close enough to be threatening to you or not. That's fine. But Helix openers, when you're on a fresh angle, that's important. That's good. You're not like Ash where your headshot is like, that's basically, huge chunk of their health right there. You don't have that as soldier except in your helix, which is on a cooldown. So when you're on those fresh angles, you have to put a little more thought into what you do because when an angle is fresh, that's sort of your damage buff. That's when it's the most powerful. That's when you're the most likely to get a pick off. And you know that from Ash as well, but you need to use this while it's fresh. That's how that's going to work. Second thing that we can get into, I'll just put heal station here because it's easy. Heal station, very easy to work on, shouldn't require a ton of brain. Pretty easy, shouldn't require a ton of brain. The idea there is you put your heal station somewhere like here so that it goes like that, and you can both go, hey, I can stand here and shoot through, or I can stand here. This isn't actually an amazing place for it. A better example would be right here, where you can go, hey, my heal station is somewhere like here, where I can stand here and shoot while getting healed by it, or stand here and have cover against the opponents and recover health when I'm low. That's something that we would like to do. That is something that, yes, we would like to do. And then the third thing I'd put, this is going to be a little more conceptual, a little harder. You do need to value your life a little more. We had this McCree example where you ran too far, too hard, and, you should have turned and fought a little bit more than you did before continuing to kite. But overall, there's not quite enough value put on your life. You're a little too willing to go, no, I'm going to reopen the angle while reloading, or let me fight you guys while you're paying attention to me. No, just close the angle, wait 2 seconds, fight them again type thing, or more often, hey, it's time to leave. It's time to leave this fight over here. Let's not walk out with our back to a window towards the enemy's spawn, that sort of thing. So a little bit more value on your life, a little bit more survivability. Again, sprint is really good for kiting. Soldier actually is pretty good at staying alive because, hey, you've got sprint, you've got healing station. You can even sprint around in your healing station to be hard to hit. Sprint is a pretty strong movement ability. So yeah, that's where I'm going to go with this. If you have questions, anyone has questions, go ahead and throw them in chat. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do drop a like. Consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. If you'd like to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below. See what rates look like, see what sort of promos, special events we have going on, all that good stuff. I don't think the heal stations were terrible. Yeah, it's not the second most important thing. I'd probably list it as thing number 3. For you, in terms of importance, I would list the other 2 ahead of it for sure. It's just sort of an easier change to make than number 3. I just think I flub them sometimes under pressure. Yeah, no, that's fine. I have too much of it. If I don't make something happen now, my team will fold. Right. And when you do need to make that happen, the answer is angles. And that's great. The answer is angles. The answer is deepen your angle and try to get a pick. Like, leave the fight deep in the angle, try to get a pick. You can cover a lot of distance in a short time on Soldier. And then open with that helix on that angle with that pick, unless you're tac visoring. So that would be the answer. But also, you're going to fall into these situations where you feel like you need to make something happen less if you get a few extra picks per game with Helix rocket openers. What dual type should get added to the Pokemon Ghost roster that would have made your run easier? Let's see. So what we had in terms of in that run, for those that don't know, on Twitch, we did just wrap up a run. We just took down the champion. I suppose there's some post game. We might check that out. We just in Brilliant Diamond, and we did a monotype Ghost run, and we had obviously Ghost plus Poison. We didn't get Spirit Tomb until I do now have a Spirit Tomb, but we didn't get it until after we beat Cynthia. That was Ghost Dark. And then we had Mono Ghost. So this was our Haunter Gengar Ghastly line, our Ghastly line. This was Spirit Tomb. This was Mischievous. And then we had Ghost Flying as well, because we had Drift Blim. So these are what we had. Well, we didn't really have Ghost Darkness, but we could have. What dual type? What dual type would have been cool for that? Hmm. Let me pull up a chart for a second. I didn't really feel like anything huge was missing, but I might think otherwise if I look at a type chart here. So if we look at a type chart, ultimately we couldn't hit a few things like flying and water well. Not having an electric type attack hurt us a bit, but we don't really need an electric defensive typing there for that to work. We had our neutral against that, yeah. I don't think we desperately needed anything, truth be told. I mean, would we have taken like a Ghost Fairy, a Ghost Dragon? Would we have taken the pseudo legendary from Gen 8, that dragon that's also a ghost? Yeah, of course we would have. That would have made things easier. But I didn't really feel like I desperately needed any dual type there to get through it. The biggest challenges were, of course, the Elite Four plus Cynthia. And the game is balanced, and I did go check out someone else's run, and I saw they had a similar thing where it was like, hey, game is pretty easy, they're feeding you too much experience, they stop trying to get experience intentionally, and then, oh wait, the Elite Four is a little bit challenging. So that wasn't unusual, it was just a bit of a design flaw in how the game distributed its experience, whatever. But the other thing that I would say was challenging was that it was the second time we ran into a Team Galactic commander, and they had that skunk tank. And when they had that skunk tank, all we had was Ghastly, and all we had was Ghost. No, we didn't even have a Ghost type damaging move. No, we had a Ghost type damaging move and a Dark type damaging move. The Ghost type damaging move didn't do damage. The Dark type damaging move was Payback, which was a physical attack on a special attacker. If we were playing the right version, we'd have had Mischievous, but it would have been basically the same exact issue, not actually having a way to hurt that. So something to help handle skunk tanks better would have been the answer there. Convoluted answer, I know. Okay. Oh, we have a super chat coming in from Adam in Charge for $9.99 saying, I heard your cousin Larry does Overwatch coaching and taught legit RC everything he knows. Is that true? No, it is not. I do not have a cousin Larry. I hate to break the lore, but hey. I appreciate that super chat once again for $9.99 coming in from Adam in Charge saying, I heard your cousin Larry does Overwatch coaching and taught legit RC everything he knows. Is that true? Time for that Rotom. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Though I think now Rotom doesn't keep ghost typing. I think Rotom goes electric plus whatever it pairs with. Like, I guess it's electric ghost in its base form, but I think that's a rather weak Pokemon. And so it wouldn't really have been a monotype ghost run if I'd started using the Rotom forms there. Plus, you couldn't get it in this game. I've heard that in Platinum you could get Rotom early, but in the Diamond and Pearl remakes you couldn't get it until post game. Any of you heard of Temtem? It's like Pokemon, but gym leaders will actually beat you. I have heard of it. Yes. I thought about that. Ghost fighting. Yeah. Next, he'll be saying he doesn't really have a landlord called Steve. Hate to break it to you. Temporal's moving to Pokemon coaching, not Overwatch. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. We just did an Overwatch review. We'll do more Overwatch content. Ghost Fairy could have been fun. Against Skunk Tank, yeah. Adam says, I'm like you and Overwatch's cousin Larry. I'll never be able to conquer it. Still challenge you to a random battle in Pokemon Showdown. Maybe we'll make that happen, McDonough. You'll be good, Adam. You'll be fine. And you're already good. I mean, this account is in Plat right now, it sounds like, but you could have it in Diamond, and you can put your support in Diamond. You can put, your Ash in Diamond. That's already good. Like, that's top 8 to 11% of the player base, something like that. We drift in what we consider good because, again, once you get high enough, you always consider it's sort of the thing. It's kind of the joke of everyone below you is a filthy casual and every Bruin better than you is a filthy tryhard, right? Like, isn't that how it works? Where it's like, no. Again, the point here is you are already pretty good at Overwatch. I wouldn't be too worried about that if you have to be like, oh no, I have to be good at this game. But even if you weren't, who cares? You're doing it for you to prove that you can get better and better. Stay Plat. There you go. Still want to be Masters. I get it. I get it. There you go. Okay. I don't know. I'll just stay Plat. I bet you can push to Masters. I bet you can. Okay, that's going to do it for now. I will see you guys in the next one, and we will be doing some more Overwatch today. I don't know if that's going to be a review because I think I've got one in my inbox, or if that's going to be a discussion type thing. Probably not a map guide today. I do have a discussion one I might do. I do have a review I might do, but we'll do some more streaming today. Okay. With the low play list, I probably wouldn't worry too much about rank. Fair. Okay. That's going to do it. I will see you guys in the next one.